Assalamualaikum and a very good day. We bid to our Religions in Malaysia subject lecturer, Madam Ashita. We from Group Horizon will be presenting on our project about entertainment issues in Islamic and Christianity point of view. So our group members consist of Ilhan Ashraf, me, Anis Aziati, Muhammad Arizan, Benedict Anak Walembe, and Adriana Maitara. So moving on to the next slide. So this is our group members. Next. For the background of our project, which is starting from overview of the study, which consists of three main points. First, entertainment, second, Christian, and third is Islam. So what is the problem statement for our study, which is current conflict or issues regarding many entertainments are considered inappropriate from Christian and Islam point of view. And then, which is moving on to the importance of our study to understand Islam and Christian views regarding entertainment and to know how it influences the believers of this religion. So moving on to our research questions, which is consists of three. What are guidelines of entertainment in Islam and Christian? Why is entertainment restricted by religion? And how this may affect the believers? And the last one is what forms of entertainment can be utilized towards religion development. And lastly, from our background, the objectives of our study, which is to understand Islam and Christian views regarding entertainment, to know how entertainment influences the believers, Muslim and Christian. And lastly, to know how entertainment can be used for religious purposes. Now I will pass to our next member.
So for the literature review, we will more focus on the similarities and differences between both religion in terms of entertainment restriction and also the similarities and differences between both religion in aspect of arts practices. So first is the similarities in terms of entertainment restriction. Basically, to listen to music that is played in conjunction with perverted behaviors or that is intended to promote such perverted practices is haram in Islamic religion. Christians also believe that regularly consuming this poison may sear their conscience, separating them emotionally from the realities of injustice, violence, and sin. Nowadays, both religions struggle with modern entertainment because most of it conflicts with their principles. Moving on to the differences, Islam has made it obvious that it is permissible and what is not, but many Christians are troubled by the lack of explicit biblical teachings on the matter. Thus, Christians must exercise caution when making decisions. Moving on to the similarities in aspect of arts practices, entertainment purpose is to highlight the beauty found within the religion. So most of the arts are taken from the Quran and Bible, which is why it is used to teach the believers as well. In terms of architecture, we can see it from the mosques and churches. Other than arts of architecture and painting, music also often practices in these religions. Furthermore, both religions do not allow arts which have element of sins in it. Moving on to the differences in aspect of arts and practices, we can see that Islam does not allow visualizing Allah and Prophet Muhammad SAW in movies, TV series, or animations. However, Christians can. Next, Christians allows the making of sculptures or statues, especially Jesus and Virgin Mary, while it's forbidden in Islam. Moving on to the next part, I'll pass to my member.
Hello, my name is Ilhan Ashraf, and I will be talking about research methodology. So our aim was to understand the restrictions and guidelines of entertainment in the religion of Islam and Christianity. So for our research methodology, we use qualitative method to gather more information and understanding for the topic. Our aim was to produce contextual, real-world knowledge about the behaviors, social structures, or shared beliefs of a specific group of people, and that is the religion. This methodology is less controlled and more interpretive. So it shows our understanding how to interpret our methodology based on our interviews. So we conducted interviews with individuals that are knowledgeable in their own respective religions. Next page. The participants in our interview for Islam was Ustazah Siti Nakia, a UNIZA lecturer, Muhammad Helmi, a UTP senior, and for Christianity, it was Miss Petrina, which was a classmate for one of our group members, and Pastor Melia Dian, who is a family member for our one of our group members as well. The interview was semi-structured interview where a few questions was predetermined and other questions were unplanned. This this type of interview is more free flow, meaning we can gather more information based on what we have heard from the interviewee. Uh, the the interviews were then transcribed, and we use discourse analysis to analyze the meaning in relation to the social context. Next. So why did we use qualitative methods and when we did not use quantitative method? First of all, for unstructured interviews, it usually produces results that cannot be generalized beyond the sample group, but they provide a more in-depth understanding of participants' perceptions, motivations, and emotions, which I think is very important when it comes to religion, as we cannot be as strict, but we have to understand the perceptions of people. And why did we conduct an interview? We cannot conduct a survey because we do not know the level of knowledge that these participants have and what the answer is true or not. The survey method also lacks credentials that can cause our report to be inaccurate, which which in return will cause many errors and maybe not related to our topic. Interview gives us a better understanding from a well-credited person about the religion and a more accurate answer so that we have the best report as possible. I will now pass on to the next person.
Thank you. Next, I will present on the findings and discussion. First and for all, findings from Christianity point of view. We have interviewed one um, average practicing Christian and one expert from the Christian itself. So here I will show briefly the answers that have been given by our interviewees. First question will be concerns about entertainment. So the interviewees have said that um, it depends on the intensity of the entertainment and either it have any violence or any bad influence. Now, content can also be an issue, but to know what's appropriate, we have to know our limits and determine whether it is motivating or giving us personal development. Religion will also help them select which is right and wrong, and the limits are different for each people that work in the industry because they usually care more towards profits. Now, it can also boost the economy because we still want to keep up with the trend and the limits that have been set are not really relevant anymore. So it will also affect their faith if the faith is not firm. And from the mind, the contents will also be absorbed into the heart and soul. And about clothing, Christians find that it is not really about the clothing, as they believe they are safe and justified by the Jesus blood. However, this kind of clothing can distract the eye of the public. Therefore, we must keep on having this kind of limitations. Now, on different other things such as hand symbols, we have to know what are the meaning so that we don't get influence. Now, for concerts doesn't really giving negative effects as long as the uh, audiences are matured. So it is okay as long as there are no inappropriate words and hand signs. All right. For entertainment that can lead to God, they have set several examples such as Christian songs in YouTube, podcasts, and digital community. So lastly, people are more leaning towards entertainment because their faith is not firm and people are more exposed to it as it is more easily accessible. Next is we have two other interviewees, which are Ustazah Siti Nakia and Muhammad Helmi. Uh, Entertainment are okay as long as it doesn't affect the four factors given. So they have also given other examples such as Halloween issues that have been held in Arab and Korea, and it can also help with spiritual when it is helping with resting the mind. There are more other examples such as the Islam fashion code is covering aurat, and songs does not distracting and insult others. So other different examples that have been given are like nasyid, kasidah, and zikir. Now, onto our discussion. Christians view entertainment as generally acceptable as long as it does not exceed certain limitations. However, there are huge concerns when there are violence and bad influences. They also lean more towards profit, so it is dangerous. Limitations should be should be continued, and they should bring personal development and not hurt anyone. In the end, limitations are not everything, and Christians go back to their faith in Jesus Christ. Next, entertainment can influence the believers as it goes from our mind to our soul. And hand signs are acceptable as long as there are no hidden meaning behind it. Entertainment can also bring positive impact. For example, gospel songs at any genre as long as it still deliver the wisdom of God. Modern genres can also used to attract young genres so that they can listen to the message given. For religion purposes, it can be more accessible on par with the current technology. For example, gospel songs, talks, and podcasts on radio, YouTube, and Spotify. Finally, in a Christian, it will not bring harm if we choose the entertainment wisely. Meanwhile, from the POV of Islam, it is okay as long as we follow these four factors as given. So music are okay to listen, but the contents must first be viewed. And entertainment can also influence the believers, as we can be distracted and neglected by neglect their ibadah and faith. Hand signs are also okay, but we must avoid rock metal sign just to avoid fitnah. Muslims must also prioritize ibadah and not consume too much entertainment. It is not good for their mindset. To bring positive impact, Muslims can hear recited Quran, Qasidah and Salawat, and assist others in expressing their gratitude. Next will be passed to my friend.
Okay, thank you, Ben. Assalamualaikum. Moving into conclusion, Islam and Christian have a certain guidelines or rules they need to obey if they want to proceed in arts or enjoying the entertainment. So to conclude all of our research and presentation, I would like to highlight some recommendation for our future research. As for your information, we got limitation on this research, which is time constraint, both in our side and also in the interview side, where we only got plenty of weeks to finish this research, while the interviewee doesn't have much free time for us to make interview. So this lead to the second limitation, where we only manage to conduct online interview instead of physical or face-to-face interview for the interviewee time flexibility. And next is we only refer to the journal article about the entertainment from year 2000 until now, which is very limited and insufficient for more depth information. Hence, for future research, we give recommendation to make the interview physically as it will be more interactive and more information can be earned. Next, other than the people who expert and have right to talk about religion, this research need to interview the people whose work on entertainment industry to know their real time experiences and know how much their surrounding influence them about entertainment and their beliefs. Sorry. Moreover, find people who direct or act in film or drama regarding religion. Basically, they work to make content about the journey of influent figures in the religion like Islam and Christian. So we can ask them why and what is their actual goal in creating this form of entertainment for promoting religion. Finally, we need to refer to more journal article as entertainment and arts industries as a long story since people find joy. So for more depth research about entertainment in religion also, we can take other point of view of other religion like Buddhism and Hinduism into account for more understanding on why religion give restriction on entertainment. So last but not least, we would like to thank you Ustazah Srinakia, Pastor Melidiadian, Muhammad Elmi, and Mrs. Petrina for their time and valuable information. And also thanks a lot to Ustazah Mashita for giving us chance and help to make this research successful. That's all from our group Horizon, and thank you.